completely smashed in. Both vehicles were left blocking the street until tow trucks hauled the cars away.
At noon, a Rolls-Royce that was being driven by rapper Rick Ross is towed away after crashing into a building in Fort Lauderdale.
When it comes to the rap game, fast cars and luxury often go hand in hand. But for some rappers, the chase for speed and status turned into a sudden wreck of metal and smoke. Here are the rappers whose supercars went from status symbols to twisted wrecks. First up, Tyga stepped into the world of high-end cars early in his rap career, building a collection that turned heads with its flash and speed. Now, one of the most talked about was his white Lamborghini Aventador LP 704, a $376,000 supercar he bought in 2012 during the peak of his early fame. Around that time, his hit songs Rack City and Faded were playing everywhere, and the Lambo fit perfectly with his image of success and luxury. The Aventador became a 691 horsepower symbol of how far he had come from his Compton beginnings. The Aventador was Lamborghini's top model at the time, powered by a 6.5-litre V12 that could hit 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds and reach over 200 miles per hour. Tyga's pearl white car sat low to the ground, with signature scissor doors, built for speed and perfect weather, not the slippery conditions that would later destroy it. In December 2012, just a few months after buying it, Tyga crashed the Aventador. He was driving in snowy conditions in Los Angeles when the car lost traction and slid off the road into a ditch. Tyga later posted photos of the wrecked supercar on Instagram, showing it half buried in snow. Fortunately, he wasn't hurt, but the car suffered heavy damage underneath. Reports at the time said repairs would cost well into 6 figures. The Aventador was eventually repaired, but it didn't mark the end of Tyga's car troubles. Over the next few years, several of his luxury vehicles, including a later model Aventador and a Bentley, were repossessed after missed payments. Now, while Tyga escaped his accident unscathed, the next rapper wasn't so lucky. Offset and supercars go hand in hand. In 2018, the rapper picked up a neon green Dodge Challenger, the kind of muscle car that turns heads on Atlanta streets. In its SRT Hellcat trim, it packed a supercharged V8, pushing out 707 horsepower, could sprint from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just over 3 seconds, and at a top speed north of 200 miles per hour, all wrapped in that bright paint impossible to ignore. Now, he'd been flexing it on social media, showing off the custom rims and the way it roared through the city, a symbol of his rising success with tracks like Bad and Bougie still playing in clubs everywhere. But things went sideways just months later. Offset swerved hard to avoid someone walking in the road, lost control on wet pavement from recent rain, and slammed into a tree on the driver's side. The impact crumpled the front end, jammed the driver's door shut, and mangled the entire left side of the car. The wheel was pushed back into the cabin, the frame bent beyond repair. It was totaled on the spot. Now, Offset squeezed under the steering wheel and climbed out through the passenger side. His face was bloody from cuts and his arms were badly scraped, but his injuries were ultimately minor. A passerby called for help and paramedics rushed him to the hospital where doctors stitched him up, checked for anything more serious, and released him later that day. And once he was out, Offset posted graphic photos on Instagram showing his bloodied face and the wrecked Challenger being towed away. He captured them by thanking God every day, saying he could have been dead from the accident. And another rapper who had a reason to be thankful was Soulja Boy. He had always talked big about cars in his music, but when his 2007 hit Crank That turned him into a teen millionaire, he made those lyrics real by chasing cars that screamed success. In late 2012, as he was rebuilding buzz with his album Gifted, Soulja Boy spotted a white Lamborghini Gallardo at a Miami dealership and dropped $220,000 in cash on it. The V10-powered supercar made around 600 horsepower and could hit 60 miles per hour in just 3.2 seconds. He drove it straight off the lot, and the Gallardo quickly became his daily thrill, zipping him to studios in Atlanta and parties in South Beach. He'd even park it sideways just to draw crowds, cameras flashing as the scissor doors swung open. Then, on a rainy evening in January 2019, while heading south on the Pacific Coast Highway in Malibu during heavy storms that had already caused mudslides and lane closures, things went wrong. Soulja Boy pushed the Lambo through slick turns at around 50 miles per hour, the wipers barely keeping up with sheets of rain. A sudden flash flood sent rocks and debris across the road. The Gallardo hydroplaned off the pavement, slammed into a guardrail, and skidded into a pile of mud that buried the front wheels up to the axles. The $220,000 car was totaled. Its hood buckled, doors jammed shut from the impact, and the frame bent badly enough that tow trucks had to drag it out with chains the next day. Soldier Boy walked away unhurt and spent the following weeks driving a rental SUV, reflecting on how close the crash came to being far worse. But the streak of wrecked luxury cars didn't stop there. Now, in September 2018, Post Malone was riding in his white Rolls-Royce Wraith, a luxury coupe that starts around $300,000. Powered by a 624 horsepower twin-turbo V12, it glides from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.6 seconds and stays whisper quiet at speeds over 150 miles per hour. Inside, it's all suede, leather, and a starlight headliner. Details Post often showed off in Instagram stories during his Los Angeles tours. The car was a rolling trophy after beer bongs and Bentleys blew up, with Rockstar playing everywhere. He'd bought the Wraith earlier that year as his status leveled up, but early Friday morning on September the 7th at about 2:42 a.m., at the intersection of Doheny Drive and Santa Monica Boulevard, things went wrong. Post was in the passenger seat while his assistant was driving when a Kia suddenly T-boned them. The impact spun the Rolls out of control, sent it crashing through a chain-link fence, and left it wedged in bushes with the front end smashed, side panels caved in, and the car looking like a total loss that had to be towed from the scene. Beverly Hills police arrived quickly, treating several people on site, including Post and his assistant. No one was seriously hurt, just checks for whiplash and bruises, and alcohol was not a factor. The Kia, its own front end badly damaged, blocked the roadway. Post stayed stoic as officers worked the scene, then tweeted later that morning, "First almost a plane, now almost a car. God must hate me, LOL." He was referencing how just 2 weeks earlier, his private jet had been forced to make an emergency landing in New York after 2 tires blew during takeoff from Teterboro, engines smoking as the plane circled back. And the next rapper didn't just crash a car, it almost ended far worse. On New Year's Day 2021, Sway Lee was riding in a Ferrari 812 Superfast owned by his longtime producer Mike Will Made It. The sleek red Grand Tourer packed a 689 horsepower V12, could rocket from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 3 seconds, and topped out at 211 miles per hour, wearing the iconic prancing horse badge. Mike had picked up the Ferrari a couple of years earlier as a reward for hits like Black Beatles, often posting photos of it parked outside studios where the two cooked up beats together. They were inseparable in the music game. That day, they were out celebrating the start of the new year when things went wrong around midday. On cold, slick roads left slippery by overnight chill, the Ferrari lost traction. The car spun violently, and the left side was torn apart. Bumper ripped away, and the frame crushed as if it had been sideswiped by something massive. Despite how severe it looked, reports later pointed to road conditions alone as the cause. Both Sway and Mike walked away with only minor injuries. Sway suffered a cut under his eye that left it bloody, but they credited their seatbelts for keeping locked in through the crash. Sway later jumped on Twitter, posting a close-up of his swollen, bloodied eye and telling fans to always wear their seatbelts. He said the crash rocked him, but they were blessed and favoured just to be breathing. Still, in January 2021, another crash followed, this time involving Sheck Wes. Sheck was driving his Lamborghini Huracan Performante, a track-focused supercar priced around $300,000. It featured a 5.2-litre V10 making 631 horsepower, could hit 0 to 60 miles per hour in 2.9 seconds, and used active aerodynamic flaps to stay planted at speeds up to 211 miles per hour. He bought it after the success of Mo Bamba in late 2018, customizing the carbon fiber details and exhaust for that signature Lamborghini howl. The car became a regular sight on New York streets and Los Angeles freeways as his Cactus Jack deal with Travis Scott locked in. But on January 29th, during heavy rain in Los Angeles, the Huracan hydroplaned on the wet freeway. Water built up under the tires, lifting them off the surface and sending the car straight into the center divider. The front right side took the hit, scraped paint, chipped wheel arch, and a dented bumper that left it damaged but not completely totaled. Sheck walked away without a scratch. No hospital visit needed, just adrenaline pumping as rain poured down. His entourage captured the moment on video, filming him dancing next to the damaged Lambo in the downpour. He even posted TikToks from the shoulder using Mo Bamba audio while waiting for the tow truck to haul it away. But the close calls didn't stop there. During Art Basel weekend in early December 2023, 2 Chainz was driving his black Mercedes Maybach S680 in Miami. The four-door luxury sedan packed 496 horsepower from a twin-turbo V12, could hit 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 4.8 seconds, and topped out around 130 miles per hour. Inside, it was loaded with massaging seats, ambient lighting, and the signature Maybach grille announcing its presence. 2 Chainz had been in South Florida soaking up the art scene. Earlier that night, he posted a video from Marketplace 119 Meat and Seafood, showing off a massive stone crab, then stopped by the Booby Trap strip club before hopping on I-95 northbound around 4 a.m. on December the 9th. As he slowed to exit the highway, a black Tesla slammed into the back of the Maybach. The impact jolted his neck and sent the Tesla's front end crumpling into the guardrail. Its driver's side smashed and debris scattered across the lanes. The Mercedes was shoved forward but remained drivable long enough for the scene to clear. Paramedics placed 2 Chainz on a stretcher at the scene, strapping him in with a neck brace as a precaution before rushing him to the hospital. Doctors later confirmed neck injuries and possible additional trauma, but listed him in stable condition overall. 2 Chainz documented the aftermath from the gurney on his Instagram story, zooming out to show the wrecked Tesla pressed against the guardrail. He later captioned that things could have been much worse and that he was counting his blessings. Authorities looked into the Tesla driver for a possible DUI, but since it was not confirmed, no charges were filed at the scene. By Sunday, December the 10th, 2 Chainz posted an update from the hospital saying he was doing well and had been discharged, and was boarding a private jet home, keeping a breathing device on hand just in case. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, drop a like, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more. And I'll see you next time.